Hi guys, how's everybody doing? I am doing a little work on Anna, doing some cleaning. Let's see, I got this tool so I could put the right kind of clamps on the hoses, PEX tubing, and so it would stop the dripping at the connections. And that was a pretty simple solution. I didn't know you needed a special wrench, or not wrench, crimping tool, I guess it would be called. I just thought I used a pair of sideways wire cutters. So they're kind of wire cutters that face the opposite direction of the normal. It looks like something that would pinch something, so I smushed it down, but I wasn't getting it near tight enough with those. Let's see. Something kind of weird I thought was, I guess it was the moisture in the inside of this from it being wet. But see, I cleaned the bumper plates, so I have to take that all apart. And I got the bumper plates nice and shiny. But then this morning, I did that yesterday, and then this morning the ones that were inside, not exposed to the air, got kind of dull looking. So I'm guessing just the moisture. And then this here, see, I put a number 18 bare copper wire and just kind of wadded it up and shoved it in there. That gives it more copper surface area to contact the vapors. And some people, it's debatable whether the copper really does anything, but I know that after you run your steel through copper, the copper is all stinky. And so is that just the alcohol reacting with the copper and causing that smell, or is the copper absorbing that smell and giving you a better spirit? That's the debatable thing. So I just choose not to tempt fate, and I go along with it. There's my heating element. And there's Anna, and her name is Anna Nicole. My girlfriend named her. And she named her that because she calls her a gold digger, because she's needy and she wants something constantly. She's never satisfied. Because I'm always trying to upgrade it and get new parts for it and that kind of thing. But for those of you guys that's been kind of following along with the steel, that's the shotgun dispenser. I always say that, shotgun condenser. See, it has 5 3/8 tubes going through it in the water, so you can see just how effective that would be at cooling something. And then that's the defegulator, which has 5 1/2-inch tubes, so it's kind of a short, fatter version of that, and you use that for your pre-reflux or your reflux, however you want to call it, pre-condensing. And that's what I've been doing all morning. Got a few days off of work, so getting some stuff done around the house. This afternoon I need to clean out my truck, and I think I'll scrub the seats and detail the inside. And let's see, some other things, like the stuff going on with Minneapolis, the riots and the looting and burning and stuff. You know, you hear stuff about the mayor, but isn't the mayor the one that's in more or less the police answer to the mayor? And what I don't see none of the lamestream media's talking about is the history of the racism and corruption and brutality on the Minneapolis Police Department. And don't get me wrong, I'm not in any way condoning what some of the people are doing there, but it was brought about through a long history, over a decade, of a racist, brutal police force. And it starts with the mayor. And I saw Minnesota News this morning on his channel, and he was saying that the demonstration at the police department was civil last night until the police started firing tear gas and stuff and stirring everyone up. And I kind of wonder, it seems like a lot of these protests go this route. Is it just human nature, or maybe the ruling class want this? I mean, I know they don't want it, but would they rather have a mob who burns itself out through anger and hate and takes it out on its surroundings by burning down a few buildings and tearing some things up and going home, and then it's back to business as usual because nothing got solved? Or would they rather have a community that's organized and demands answers and change, and it demands those ruling class people step down? Because if enough people got together and held them accountable, they would have to go away. So I think that is much more dangerous to them than the property loss and damage, which is covered through insurance and will be built back again anyway. Just something I entertained thinking about. Wouldn't surprise me that if there's not even a formula that in tactics that they use to escalate a protest into something like that, or try to anyway. Ultimately, it is us, we the people, that make the choice to engage in that. And it wasn't just one, it was a lot. So and there was a lot of people that chose not to engage in that as well, that just left because that wasn't what they were about. But at the same time, I also understand that people are just so fed up and angry that nothing seems to change and nothing they do helps. And some of these, even just at a philosophical level, look at some of the businesses being destroyed at corporations. Some of these corporations just rape our natural resources and our environment, and they pay us pennies on the dollar, and their whole concern is about making money for their shareholders and nothing for the community and the world that they share with us. And so I kind of don't feel sorry for them, if that's maybe a little callous, when I see some of the businesses that are being destroyed. They do a lot of destroying and destruction in their own right. And once again, I would like to see reports on how many incidences of brutality and how many reports that they've taken for violence over the last decade in that city in Minneapolis, and how many complaints. And that's because we're just they're one of the, I can't spit it out. One of the news reports said something like, all of them say this is in response to George's death, but George's death is the straw that broke the camel's back. This is a direct result of an atmosphere of brutality and racism from the police department, not an isolated incident. This kind of reaction doesn't come from one mistake. And the other thing I'm wondering is, why aren't the body cams released now, immediately? They could. We already saw what happened. There's no damage to control. If anything, you're going to make it worse. Except that I think when the truth, if the truth really comes out, that it's going to make it actually worse than what people are assuming. I think the radio calls, I think the conversation between the officers there involved, I think it's going to be very damning for the police department. And I think the people would, if they had sense, demand those in charge step down and demand change and put people in there that will give them the type of police force they need, which isn't jackboot thugs that control them through brutality. And then there's another thing. I was thinking back to those guys, the Korean guys in LA that defended their property. If those businesses that got looted and burned down, they put their faith in the same police force that brutalized those people. So not only were the people that needed a police force to protect and serve them let down all these years, the other people that needed to be protected from the people that were pissed, they got let down by the police force as well, and the government. Well, the police force is the government. You have to protect yourself, and states have a right to form a militia. Why we look down on militias a lot of times? They say they're gun-toting weirdos and fanatics, but if a militia was out there marching up and down on the businesses saying, not going to burn these, I doubt they would have got burnt. And I saw videos showing pretty much that. People just took it upon their own self to protect businesses. So, there's just a lot of lessons to be learned from things like these, and a lot of questions to be asked, and a lot of things we should examine, because I really don't think it's an accident that a majority of these protests go this way, because I don't think most of the people there planned on that happening. And they probably wanted the opposite to happen, but it tends to go this way, and I'm just really wondering if the ruling class kind of has a little buttons they know they can push to kind of nudge it along in that direction. And that's about all I got today. I hope everyone has a good day, and looking forward to hearing everyone's comments and what they think about this topic. And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of love, everyone. Bye.